Okay. When I was doing the thing, I felt like, what if I just went up there and just did that? Because when I was looking, it reminds me of those old people that you see in those videos, and they're like up there trying to look and see. I don't know. Just I thought it was funny, but I'm a weirdo. Um, and there's not really that much. The thing that keeps being on my mind, it's just like what I was talking about yesterday. It's just, so I started watching some movie last night. It was some Lifetime movie, and I like in those movies that usually it doesn't feel like they're trying to sell you something, but oh man, last night it definitely. So one of the things was that they had I don't know if the guy was the CEO, the owner, or whatever. It was a black guy, and he was in charge of all these white people. And all the white people were at the table. He's at the head of the table, and he's, just in charge of everything. And I kept thinking, that's so weird, because that's what black people are complaining about. They don't really have a seat at the table. They're left out. And then in the movies, they're trying to show us like, oh no, the black people are running the world, you guys. It's like, well, then if the black people are running the world, then why do they feel left out? It just makes no sense. And I don't know. It just is this constant selling us this illusion. It is this fake, false illusion. And that one movie that I was watching, that new movie, and all those people playing like caricatures of real people, like they don't make the characters likable or smart or anything. It's like they take all these different people or groups in the world and they just make them into a joke. I don't know, it's weird. It's like, well, how are we all supposed to respect one another when we're watching stuff that is just showing everybody else is just an idiot? Things are not what we think. I started watching this, there's a new Wrong Turn. It was like number 7 or something. And just the whole thing is in this Wrong Turn, starts with a dad who's out looking. I haven't finished yet, so I can't. But it starts with this dad who's out looking for his daughter, and she's gone up in the Appalachian mountains with her friends to hike. So then it goes over and starts showing you them and what they're doing. And of course, it's the biracial couple. And, mind you, they've gone into this Appalachian mountains way out in the middle of nowhere where, it's a biracial couple and a biracial, I don't even know, gay couple, 2 guys, I don't know, maybe one's Spanish, one's Middle Eastern or something. Definitely dark skin, dark hair, dark, the thing that they try and tell everybody, be scared of this. And so that gay couple. And then the other couple, of course, is the smart doctor girl and the obnoxious drunk guy. So just like, really, would these people really get together and go up in the Appalachian Mountains? I mean, a couple of them you would think that would do some major research before going up there. I mean, people disappear in the mountains all the time. It is kind of like, I don't know. They've been telling people for way too long that we're the only ones on this planet. It's like, no, we're not. We're not the only ones on this planet. And there's places out there that you will run across other beings and stuff. And definitely out in the middle of nowhere where there's not a lot of humans, you're going to find some. Like the stories of the giants, the missing 411 stories all the time. I mean, people are going missing. And, and then when you put that together with these deep underground military tunnels that these parks where people are disappearing are in the tunnel map. You know, I don't even know how some of this stuff is. There's people who dig a lot deeper than me, and they have better connections and stuff. And so there's a lot of people who share information. I've seen that underground tunnel system thing multiple times, from multiple different sources. And I know a lot of people just think, no way, there's not underground tunnels. There's not beings living underneath us. And there's not, you know, fantastic things out there that are living with us, you know, that mind their business or whatever, you know, like I knew Bigfoot was real and people thought I was crazy. And I know I've said it before that when I was a kid, we must have been 18. And my friend, her mom's family was from the Appalachian Mountains. And she was driving out to see family by herself. And so you're out in the middle of nowhere, way up in the mountains, driving by yourself. And this was the last time she ever did it too. She was driving and she said all of a sudden, she was scared to death. And she wasn't somebody who would, you know, say this kind of stuff. But she said all of a sudden while she was driving, this giant Bigfoot thing came out of the woods and was pacing alongside of her car with her. And she was getting totally freaked out. And then he ran across the street right in front of her. She saw him perfectly. And she was traumatized. I mean, she was scared to death. I don't know if she ever ended up driving back out there, but she was terrified. She really thought she was going to be killed by this thing. And I always told people, you know, Bigfoot's real. Alice saw one. And people just can't wrap their heads around things that I can't even believe how many people don't think that there's aliens or whatever. You know, they've got to be angels and devils and all this stuff. But there's definitely giants too living out there, and the giants were here. I mean, you go back to the ancient, it doesn't have to be ancient, older text, say, where there's writings from when Indians were here, you know, not on reservations, but, you know, we weren't here. They were, and they had writings and stuff, and that there was a whole bunch of, they were fighting these red-headed giants, and the giants were eating them, and you know, it was a huge battle that was going on. And then even in the early 1900s, that they were finding giant grave sites where there was multiple giants buried in them, because it was a battle. Like the Indians were fighting these things, and then there was definitely ones that were killed by the Indians, but they killed a lot of Indians too. But they did these giant mass burial things. And in the early 1900s, there might have been some in the 1800s too, but before, they were putting it in the newspaper when they would find these big mass graves, and they were showing pictures and showing what was in it and stuff, and these giant bones, like skulls that were, you know, as tall as I am. All the bones were giant. They all had like long red hair and stuff. And then another thing that's so interesting too is if you look into the Sumerian tablets. See, I go by that a lot more than I go by the Bible, because it doesn't seem, the Sumerian tablets are still tablet form. And there's translations and stuff. I've just heard him talk about a lot, and about the history that they talk about. And the history that they talk about is the history that I believe is the history of our planet. And I think that there's a lot of ancient texts and stuff like that backs up what is in the Sumerian tablets. And even the ancient drawings, they always had spaceships and stuff, and they thought that those were gods. They were, you know, fantastic creatures that were coming from other places on these machines that flew and stuff. And I mean, from the very beginning, we were made for slaves. And you know, that's the history that I totally believe, and I think it's all coming out now. And will you please stop? And there was some I don't know, go off on the whole thing. It's a lot more interesting, like if you have someone to talk to, you know, talking about things, to just sit and like preach to my phone about it. But the Sumerian tablet stuff, that's very interesting, that the hidden truth about our history and stuff. And the Bible has all been manipulated. And I don't even know how deep the manipulation goes with that. It's definitely manipulated. There's no way that I believe all of that stuff is completely factual. I think that there's a mix of truth and bullshit. Also in the movie thing. So in the movie, so they have these people, you know, who are going to go out and the Appalachian Mountains, and they're going to go hiking. Then they're even warned, you know, don't go off the trail. It's very dangerous. People disappear. Well, they go off the trail, of course. And, you know, all of this stuff is happening. But the whole time you're just like, these people would not go. I mean, those guys, the gay couple is dressed like they're going out to a play or something. It's like, this is so not believable. These are not the kind of people who are going to go out and hike. This is not the kind of clothes that you're going to go hiking in. It's not a fashion show out. I mean, that's serious stuff. I mean, serious stuff goes on out there. And there is people probably out there that would find you as, I don't know that they would find you as food or something, but I think that they could find you as something dangerous, like you're invading in their space. You know, people who don't want to be a part of civilization. I mean, there's people out there who don't want to be a part of it. You can see why. It was all bullshit. It was not real. It was a made-up world. It's just so weird. I can't get it out of my head how much it's like a habitat that we make for a pet that we bring in. You know, bring some hamsters, create this whole habitat, you know, build it and let them think that that's the world. That's what this is like. That is what you start to see that has been built to control you. But so then last night also I was watching this, it might have been the same movie. This is the weird thing too, is like when you have a brain injury, for me, I mean, everybody's is different. Nobody's is exactly the same. I even have met a friend who also has one. Hers is from a car wreck. And I mean, we have some of the same kind of deficits and then some that are not. I think most of the people have the problem with their memory and certain things that, you know, don't make sense anymore, like numbers and time and stuff. But the weird thing for me is, like, you know, like I've said before, if it's somebody I don't know, especially, that I can't remember what their face looks like, so that, you know, I could come in the house, like I could be having company and I could come in the house and get something. They would look totally different when I went back out there. And when like I'm out here watching a movie or something, I go in, I pause it, go into the bathroom, and then while I'm in there, I could be brushing my teeth or brushing my hair. I get totally distracted. I'll just do whatever. Sometimes I'm just antsy. I've just got to do something. And so I'll go in there and like I'll be brushing my hair, and then I'll notice the TV's talking, and I'll be like, what is that? What is that talking? Was I watching something? What was I watching? That's the disconnect. That's the thing of like, And it can be exhausting in your head to just trying to learn something new every time you do it. Like, what did I have the other day? There was something, and I hadn't done it in I don't know, a few weeks, a month or something, maybe longer. But I had to do it, and it seemed like I had to put something together or something, or take something apart. I can't remember. But oh my gosh, the struggle of trying to remember. You're pushing all these things. It's like, oh my God, I've done this before. Why can't I remember? You're turning it, you're pushing it, you're doing all this stuff. It's very frustrating, super frustrating. But sometimes I'm just like, I could be sitting here, and it's like I said, like, go into this other place in my head real easy. I can just slip out, like, I don't know. But then I can be sitting there, and then it's all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, where's Stella? Is she out? Is she in the room? Where is she? And it gives you this weird feeling like, oh my gosh, did I lose her? What's going on? Those like little panicky things, like, what's going on? What's happening? Where am I? I get that a lot. And the thing of not being able to remember, and it's very frustrating. But so in this movie last night, it could have been the same one with, I think I watched two. That was another thing I can't ever remember. It's weird, even when I'm talking to people. If like if you're texting and somebody doesn't answer for a few minutes, and I do something else, then when I go back, I have no idea what we're talking about. Before I go to bed, I could sit there and go, okay, I got to remember this. Oh, I've got to remember this. I want to remember this. And it will seem like the most simple things, and I'll try and attach them to something. But then when I go to sleep and I get up, it's like, I have no clue. It's just like clean slate. Let's start over. And so last night before I went to bed, there was some stuff that I was thinking I want to talk about. I thought I'd remember. But no. But in the movie last night, oh, the one I didn't finish. That's what, one of them I started, and it was annoying. This couple, or this woman's husband dies, so she takes her kids and moves them. The one boy is about to graduate in a couple weeks, moves him away from all his friends, moves into some house so she can get a new job in a new town. And then for some reason, I guess all the boys in this town are all athletes, and they're all prostitutes, and they work for this other woman. I didn't finish the thing because it got to be so ridiculous I couldn't handle it. The boy's struggling with his, this ethical choice. Do I sell myself? Mom really needs the money. God, what do I do? And he decided to go ahead and go through with it. He needed to get some money. His mom needed help. A guidance counselor at the high school just is not paying for this giant house they bought in this fancy house neighborhood. And so he has to prostitute himself. And then when he goes, so he goes into the house, and this woman's at the top of this giant mansion, right? And she's up at the top of the stairs, and she starts walking down the stairs. Of course, she's got a business suit on. She's young and beautiful. She walks down these stairs like she's powerful. Then she has, a whole shades of gray kind of thing, where she's got to be in control and all this stuff. And it was just so ridiculous. And I just was like, the indoctrination. Okay, so a powerful woman, she'll pay children for sex. A powerful woman will wear a suit and demand to be respected and stuff. It's like, don't sell me what a powerful woman is. I don't need to put on a suit to feel powerful. I don't need to have sex with kids to feel powerful. I feel powerful, and I've got on a damn t-shirt and some kind of stretchy pants I got at the thrift store, which I would have never, ever thought I would buy camo pants. And then I was at the thrift store, and I love to shop at the thrift store. You can find the coolest bargains. And they were just hanging there, and thought, well, only like $3. I'm gonna get them. And so I brought them in and I tried them on. I was like, oh my God, these pants are so comfortable. They are so comfortable. They're jeans, but they're super stretchy, really comfortable. And and I don't know, I kind of like the camouflage thing. Like you go and wear them and it is almost like your legs disappear. They shrink. But anyways, I like them. They're comfortable. I probably look to some people that, you know, this older woman walking around, I'm sure some of the clothes I wear, but some of the people are just like, oh my God, she should know. She should know. She should have cut her hair by now. My mom was even told that by her friends. Her friends started putting pressure on her that she needed to cut her hair. And her hair wasn't super long. I mean, it was like, I think to here. And she has like real big curly hair. And it's real silver. I think her hair is really cool looking. It's pretty crazy. Like she can pull off a witch look for sure. But you know, she can pull it back or whatever. And her friends started putting so much pressure on her. Oh no, it's time. You know, you've reached that age. You must cut your hair. You must, you know, you've got to go to the old lady store and buy your clothes now. It's weird how many people just, why? I mean, you only need to do what you want to do. There's not a set rule. All these people are like following rules that, who set the damn rules? It's like, can't you figure out how to set your own damn rules? Well, you got to follow all these stupid rules. Like, okay, if you are, and I don't even know the age, whatever age that, you know, if you're a woman, you must cut your hair. You got to start, I guess, doing a perm and coloring it and stuff. You have to dress completely different. Don't, you know, show your body or anything. I like that that actress, some British actress. I can't think of her name. Seems like it's Miriam or something. I don't know. She's in a lot of movies, but I really liked her because she was going out and wearing bikinis. Like she was famous, and so people were going out and taking pictures of her and stuff, and she's just owning it. You know, she's like, I don't give a shit. She's in her 60s, and I'm gonna wear a bikini. And you know, she didn't have the same body as, you know, some 20-year-old wearing a bikini. But you know, why do you have to hide your body? I mean, is your body offensive as it ages or something? It's weird. It's weird how many people just buy into it. It's this constant selling us, you know, in the movies. Once you start seeing it, it just drives you crazy. And there was I think after I turned that movie off, I wish I could remember what it was. That guy. Because that one where the black guy was the head of this business. I don't know what it was, if they were lawyers or what they were, because they were going to make the one woman a partner. But then, of course, you know, the guy who knew her secrets was going to tell on her, and so he had to be murdered. And and the guy who she paid to go on a date with somebody, so she had a date for some business thing, and then the guy became this male prostitute, I guess, became obsessed with her and started stalking her. That's the second or third one with that same storyline. Different characters, the same storyline. That's one thing you can depend on Lifetime movies. It's kind of set. They've got like, I don't know, 20 or 30 stories. They just retell them all. But it's so much better than watching this bullshit. Like I'll watch this Wrong Turn some longer probably and see where it's gonna go. I already know the one girl is gonna be the one who survives. They're all gonna be killed. And you know, it's already shown she's got more sensitivity to others than the other ones. But all of the stuff, the dialogue, everything, it's all it's also purposeful. It's also to, um, I don't know, virtue signal us how to behave and how we need to act and all that stuff. It's just weird. Like, I don't know. In this one, you know, they're going to start talking about slavery. The black guy wasn't offended by whatever. The white guy was way more offended. And he stomped off, you know, and of course he was the first to die. Oh, I won't talk about it anymore in case someone really is into it, wants to watch it. I won't want to spoil it. But anyways, I just feel like that there's just so much forced kind of information that they're kind of, I don't know, trying to fuck with my head, trying to tell me. In there, they even have ways of doing it where the tones and the music and stuff, and it puts your brain into a beta state or whatever, maybe it's theta, I don't know, one of the states where your brain absorbs more. It's all very, very, it's all done so on purpose. It's just, I don't know. See, I really didn't have much to talk about today. My new washer is going to be here soon. The person who's supposed to get this old one, I don't know what the hell's going on with them, but they haven't said anything, so of course that'll just be kind of a pain. But that'll be nice to have the new one, even though it's smaller. My house is really small, because it's a little cabin in the woods. And I did talk about watching that movie the other day too. I think that was, man, that's some disclosure there. There is controllers, and they are feeding this beast that is the ancient being. They do sacrifice. They don't give a crap about us. We are. It's just weird. Yesterday, I went into town. I went out to lunch with my friend, and there was I haven't bought any masks. I had a mask that came in the mail from my insurance company, and so I've had that one. And then there's a few times I've gone into places and they have them sitting there and they force you to put it on. So I've taken the little paper ones made by slaves too. But yesterday, so I was at the lunch thing. When I stood up to leave, she'd gone to the bathroom. So when I stood up to leave and I looked down and there was this really shiny thing on the floor. So I reached down and picked it up. You know, it's this really fancy one. It's got these little things, you can pull it and tighten it. It's all sparkly. And then I was like, well, I was going to just set it on the table. And then I was going to take it up front. And I thought, somebody's just going to take this. Somebody's going to come back looking for this. I may as well just take it. I don't even have one except for my old crappy insurance one. And then I'll have this super fancy one. Look like I paid for one too. And where I'm at, that's like a badge of honor. The more masks you have, I think. Because I'm in Washington State. So, oh my God. I was standing in line. I don't think I talked about this already, but I don't know. But I stopped because I make my kombucha right, and I had to stop and get sugar. And so I was at the line, and I was at the back of the thing, you know, and the guy's up paying. And he turns around and he tells me that I need to back up. So I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, could you back up, please? I was like, Jesus Christ. I mean, there's huge distance between us. And so I looked down at the ground, you know, it's like a foot back to the little circle thing. So I stepped back on that. It's just like, oh my God, dude. This guy is totally overweight. He's just like, I don't know. I don't want to just say like a slob or something, but he wasn't, you know, I mean, maybe he fixes up at some time in his life, but he was definitely not fixed. You know, he was real ratty. And his wife, you know, completely, totally overweight and unhealthy. And they couldn't have been that much different than my age. I was like, dude, I'm not your problem. I'll tell you that right now. And your own health. That's what you need to be looking at, taking care of yourself. You want to be healthy. It's not going to do any good to come and yell at me, especially you're wearing a mask and you've got that kind of health. Yeah, you probably are going to end up being pretty sick. That's one of the things that's going to, people are going to start finding out. That is a petri dish and all of the germs that you have got coming out. You're just breathing them and breathing them. All the stuff, when you breathe out, that is to release toxins, but you're trapping them. And, it's just, but you can't wake people up before they're ready. They have to, something has to trigger, something has to spark in their brain to get them to realize. So, but at the restaurant thing, it's just so ridiculous too, because you walk in, I've got this heater thing on I keep just being so cold. Oh man, it's so cold. And I have a sweater. I'm just gonna put it on, but when I put it on and I am sitting here like this, I don't know. I just don't like how it looks. So I'd rather just sit here on the heat pad. And it's so ridiculous. So when you walk in, you have to sit there with this on, and then you go sit at your table. And in a real pandemic, so many words that you're not allowed to say, and I don't even know them all. But in a real plague, there is no way anybody would go out. You would not go to a restaurant. I guarantee it. You would not go anywhere. You wouldn't want to put a thing over there and go out and talk to anybody in a real one, where your neighbors and stuff, where whole families are dying constantly every week, where they're shoveling the dead down the street. It's like that. And then the whole thing with the, what is that other one? The Spanish, FLU, the Spanish one. That most of the people, I think it's most of the people, you'd have to go and look for yourself if you want to make sure. But I think it was most of the deaths occurred from bacterial, some kind of lung infection they got from wearing these things. So they all got sick and died from that. And that's what we're about to have happen again. Just as sickening, the crimes of humanity that those of us who are awake have to witness, it's just sickening. I'll just be so glad once the truth is out. And then, it's going to take a while for all the truth to come out. There's going to be so much, there's going to be so much stuff, but it's going to be so much big stuff that it's going to have to be like, little by little, like unpeeling the onion. And there's a lot of stuff. Everything is fake. Everything is not real. It's all a false illusion. Even what's playing out right now, it's all fake. It's just this big false illusion. So anyways, it's just, it's going to get back to unity. It's going to get back to people living for themselves, people helping one another, creating. It's just going to be so much different once we get past this part. And it's weird because I know there's lots of people who, they also have, they can also hear their guidance or whoever's talking to them. There's a lot of us out there who can hear it. And I know a lot of them, they're constantly trying to find out, what's next, what's going to happen. I need to tell. And the whole thing is that that's all timelines. And the timelines are shifting. They're shifting fast right now, too. There's just a whole bunch. And so, they may hear about like, oh, well, this is going to happen. and then they'll tell, and it doesn't go exactly that way. And then people are like, oh, that's not right. That's the whole thing, though, is you're trying to see all the little things. Mine, I don't try and see all the little things. I don't try, and I just see the big thing. I don't have to see all the ways that we're going to get there to know where we're going. And I know that it's going to be rocky. I don't know how rocky. It's rockier already than I thought it would be. But, I don't, because I understand about the timeline thing. I understand it's constantly shifting, and, I could be shown that this is going to happen, and then it's going to switch. And when it does that, it just is it does make you feel just defeated, like, oh my gosh. But you have to get your head in, got to get your head in the game, because, timelines aren't, they aren't a definite. They show me things in my head, like what that means. But it's a lot to try and, some things are just like a lot to try and explain. But anyways, I can't see anything except what they're showing me. Like, I can't, like, the friend I went with yesterday to lunch, she's more of a doomsdayer. There's a lot of them. Doomsdayer, religious, goes by the Bible and stuff. And I am not a doomsdayer. I see everything is going to turn, and it's going to be super great. And I can see it. I can see it clearly. They show me and show me and show me, like, I can see all the stuff that's going to be in the future. I can see the future all the time. It's like when I was talking about the fence, or manifesting, it is seeing the future. When you are manifesting, for me, because I just keep seeing what I want it to be, and then it becomes reality. Maybe that's it. Maybe, I'm that strong and powerful that I'll just see us into the reality that I see. I don't know. But the reality that I see is, it's going to be great. It's going to be so much more wholesome, so much more of, like, grassroots, like, primal human living. It's just going to be so much better once we break free of this system. But we need more of us to realize they're trapped in the system to get out of the system. Like, we need everyone to wake up, and it's such slow, just drags on. So anyways, I'm just completely rambling. But I don't think this is the end. I keep hearing these different people, it's the end times, this is the end. Yeah, it's the end of this era, the end of the Piscean age, the end of duality, the end of good and bad, evil, and, that's ending. We're seeing it exposed. It's ending. We're going into a new phase on this planet, and this is going to be much better. The age of Aquarius is all about prosperity, abundance, love, unity, working together. So it's going to be great once we get there. I don't know, I've been saying it for a few years now, and so most of the people just think I'm crazy. And I can see the things happening. I can see it's happening, but other people can't see it. And so when they're all depressed and sad, and it's the end of the world, and it's over, and I try and say, they're just like, you've already been saying that a long time. It's not going to happen. I was like, it is going to happen. It is happening. It's happening right now. And I've seen it all the time. People are waking up. They're realizing the truth. And that, the just waking up part is only the first step. Just like, you know, waking up in the morning, your day is not complete. You gotta live that whole day. A lot of stuff has to happen before you go back to bed, you know, for most people. There's probably some people, especially now, they maybe get up, have a cup of coffee and go back to bed. I don't know. And when you go out, you definitely see people that they're a mess, especially here. Oh my God, people are crazy. They just are sure you're gonna kill them. It's like, oh my God, do you know that you've been at risk of dying every day from the time you were born? Why are you so focused on it now? Is it gonna make you happy? Are you gonna give up living to protect yourself from dying? It's like, oh my God, it's mental. Okay, now I've just been rambling like 41 minutes. Okay, well, hopefully whoever hears this, they're having a great day. And just remember, things are gonna get better. No matter what, things are gonna get better. This is all about you figuring yourself out. It's all about claiming your sovereignty, just to be your own empowered person, to claim your place on the earth. Feel your connection to all things, to nature, to the animals. I mean, we're all connected. And when you move into that, it's fantastic. You know, you do, it's some work to get there. I mean, I've been working on this for years and years, working on myself, you know, just figuring out who I am. And it all, you know, it had to start when I got the brain injury. I mean, that was kind of forced. There was a lot more to go after that. There was a lot more after, you know, and I didn't get rehab or anything because my injury happened in the hospital. They just wanted to, you know, let's not talk about her. I had doctor, because I was a nurse, and I had doctors who just wouldn't even talk to me anymore and stuff. It was weird. It was real weird. You really do. When things go a different direction suddenly, you really do see a different side of people. And you can look at it as, you know, poor me, or you can look at it as a blessing. To me, I try and see the blessings in most things. Because most things have a blessing, especially when you're in duality. It's not all good and it's not all bad. There's something that you have to find, and you have to find what's going to make you happy. You have to figure out, you know, if you're a miserable person, you're not going to stop being miserable until you choose to stop being miserable. If you think everything is out to get you and the world is a dangerous place, it's going to remain a dangerous place until you work on how you need to change how you see it. I know I've talked about that stuff before, about the fear and how fears become, you know, so outrageous. You know, just the thing with the spiders. How many people are so scared of spiders, and they're tiny. Even a big spider still, you know, what? Unless you live in Australia, damn, those are scary. But really, really big. And they'll come in the house and stuff, but I guess they're not scary. I mean, if you're scared of spiders, then yeah, something walking around like that is scary. But I mean, these ones don't bite, they're not dangerous. Like here, like, I've lived where there's wolf spiders, there's for sure those ones with the red thing on their stomach. What are those called? Black widows, wolf spiders, and there's another one that's people have them in their house and they get bit, and they will it starts eating the tissue, like it will eat your muscle away. You'll have a big hole in your muscle. I saw this girl who got bit in the face, and like, I mean, it starts eating away your face. Oh man, she was putting it on Instagram, her whole thing, of when it happened and stuff. I don't know how the whole thing went. It wasn't a story I followed. I think it was somebody showed me, and so I saw a couple of pictures of like where it was in the beginning and where it was at the time. It was like, fuck, God, that's scary. My daughter got bit by one. She was messy all the time. I would tell her all the time, pick your clothes up off the floor. That's where the spiders hide. You don't want spiders hiding in your room. She wouldn't listen. And, you know, if you give them hiding places all over the place, then they don't have far to get. If you have a pile of dirty clothes at the end of your bed, well, it's pretty easy for them to go up and get on your bed. You're not going to be seen. Like if you have your floors cleared, you see them trying to get from one place to another. You can catch them and put them back outside. But she got bit on the leg, and it was huge. It became so big, and I took her in because my cousin who was bit, it had already, you know, decayed this giant part of her leg. So I took my daughter right in, and she got antibiotics and got a shot, and so it started getting better. But yeah, you got to get, any time you get a real spider bite, if it's like swells up like that, you should go in and get it treated right away, because I don't even know, you know, the lady with the one that I saw on the face, or my cousin with the one on the leg, I don't know how long, you know, if they got antibiotics or what. I can't remember the one lady's story. I can't even remember what she looks like. I just remember that thing on her face, and it started decaying, and she was real pretty. Like, I think she was like some kind of Instagram model or something. I don't know. She definitely was one of those people that takes a lot of pictures of themselves and posts them and stuff like that. You know, super pretty girl. And yeah, right on the face. I think she ended up, I'm positive she had to get like plastic surgery and stuff. But I don't remember. And I think it seems like it was like a year or something of all these stuff that she had to do for this thing. And now it just makes it seem like so scary, like, oh, could be spiders in here. But those spiders aren't everywhere. They only can live in certain places. And there are some that come. The ones, like I know the one that my cousin got bit by was in the Midwest. But, see, I'll just go off on these tangents talking about the spiders. But it's mostly just about fear, you know. It's going to be, fear is one of those things that it becomes as big as you let it become. You have control of your mind. You can reel it in. You can talk yourself down. You can, you know, there's a lot of self-talk and stuff. And it's not about just affirmations. You don't need to that just really, really bugged me yesterday with let someone totally abuse you and then just go in and tell yourself that you're okay. Stand up for yourself. Don't let people walk all over you. That's what you need to break away from. Look at yourself and think, like, why am I letting this person walk all over me? Why am I letting this person set my rules? Why am I letting this person decide how I should live my life? Because that's what you need to work on. That's where you need to take a look at yourself and see, why am I giving up my power? And then once you start figuring out why you're giving it away, you can start pulling it back and creating who you want to be. Okay, now it's 49 minutes of me just rambling. Hopefully somebody gets something out of it, you know. That's what, you know, my hope is. That's why they tell me to keep talking. So, okay. Have a great day. Bye.